There now follows an electoral broadcast by the PDP.
Good evening. My name is Moira Walsh. I'm a person who is deeply committed to family life. I've been married to Martin for almost 40 years. I'm a mother and a grandmother. I retired from teaching 4 years ago after approximately 30 years. I'm a former vice president of the Gibraltar Teachers Association and in that capacity formed part of the Gibraltar Trades Council. You will probably be wondering why a retired person who is a grandmother has gone into politics. Well, the answer is quite simple. I care deeply about Gibraltar and I want to improve the quality of life for our children, our grandchildren and indeed our great-grandchildren. I care that Gibraltar is turning into a concrete jungle, mainly because there has not been a well-thought-out development plan to protect us from the resulting chaos. A PDP government would create a new planning and development plan system, which Gibraltar would be proud of. One that is efficient, which properly controls how we use our precious land and with the best interests of our community at its heart. I care about our polluted environment and the air we breathe. We have extremely high incidences of cancer in Gibraltar and the surrounding area in Spain. It is no coincidence that we are surrounded by heavy industries, which together with the indiscriminate bunkering in the bay and the heavy traffic in Gibraltar, further pollute our environment. We are all exposed to these pollutants day in and day out, and we need to take action now to eradicate, or at the very least, to lower these levels. Please help us to put our environment policy into action for your sake and the sake of the whole of our community. I care that our land has been sold off cheaply for luxury developments whilst our own people are forced to live in Spain. I care that the so-called affordable housing is in fact not affordable for many in our community. Gibraltar is small, so our land is precious, but thanks to the insensitive building programme which Gibraltar has had to endure in the recent past, we had very little land left now and certainly very few open spaces that are gone forever. We believe that a good planning and development system as set out in our manifesto is crucial to ensure our quality of life. I care that the tender system allows for speculation. It is immoral that people have bought houses released by the MOD for the sole purpose of making a quick profit. These should have been for homeowner occupiers. A PDP government would put a stop to this by including a clause in the tender application stating that prospective buyers would have to live in the property for a stipulated number of years. In government, we would appoint an independent tender board to review allocations where necessary, and if there was a case to answer, this board would have the power to refer the matter for retender. I care about the chaotic traffic situation which leads to gridlock every rush hour with increased traffic at the frontier or whenever there is an aeroplane activity. Dudley Ward Tunnel, closed for 5 years, could have been an extremely useful outlet for our heavily congested roads. Our manifesto clearly sets out better planning for a better quality of life. I care about freedom and liberty, and this is why I immediately identified with the sentiments in the PDP policy entitled Living Democracy when it was launched in June 2006. It made me realise that there were other like-minded people out there who cared about democracy. If you have a similar view, then vote for the PDP for greater democracy on the 11th of October. I care that our health system is such a hit-and-miss affair. If you're lucky, you can get fantastic service. But if you're unlucky, it can be disastrous and in some cases even life-threatening. I know because I've had experience of both involving close relatives of mine. A PDP government commits itself to ensuring that the highest standards of medical care are available for all at all times. Our manifesto goes into detail of how we intend to achieve this. I care, and indeed have been fed up for a long time with the acrimonious style of politics. The way Gibraltar is run affects you and your family all the time, and we need a government that is prepared to change the system of government and the style of government to allow for greater democracy. This is another reason to vote for the PDP, a party offering Gibraltar a fresh start with a new style of politics. I care about the lack of equality for many of our citizens. For example, the disabled persons, gay people and non-EU citizens. As an example, the disabled in the year 2007 are lacking equal opportunities in all spheres of life. Our aim in government is to try and achieve the goals of full participation and equality for all disabled persons. As an educationalist, I am particularly concerned at the lack of training for the workplace of disabled youngsters. I care about education at all levels. It is a well-known fact that a child develops rapidly during the important early years of life. It is for this reason that we will offer support in various forms to parents and their children during these critical early years. Preschool would be available and indeed actively encouraged for all 3-year-olds. At present, secondary level education only offers our children an academic route, an excellent academic route for which our teaching profession has to be congratulated. However, I know from my experience as a special needs coordinator that not all pupils are suited to follow an academic route. In UK, they have realised this and have produced a white paper entitled 14 to 19, Education and Skills, A Way Forward. But this will not be fully implemented until the year 2013. That is far too late. We need to act now. Pupils are less likely to become disaffected if their needs are met, resulting in fewer problems with antisocial behaviour, truancy, etc. The PDP in government would offer pupils an alternative route, that is, a properly resourced, well-coordinated vocational route. A sixth form college for both girls and boys would make much better use of both human and physical resources and offer pupils a wider choice of subjects. I care that the needs of our youth have been ignored. I firmly believe that investing in our youth is investing in the future of a society. A youth's free time can either be the prime time for antisocial behaviour, as recently witnessed in the piazza, or, as we advocate, the prime time for enrichment and achievement. Our youth need meeting places so that they do not roam the streets aimlessly. The youth clubs need to be well-resourced and have quality programmes to meet the needs of the youth. There is also no doubt that we have to tackle with increased vigour the drink and drugs problem amongst young people, for example, by changing the laws controlling the consumption of alcohol from 16 to 18 years and increasing the budget for the Drug Advisory Unit. It is of the utmost importance that our youth become involved in community work. A community youth development scheme means shifting away from just concentrating on problems towards concentrating on strength, competencies, and enjoyment in self-development and community development. We want to instill pride for our youth in Gibraltar via community programmes. Our youth are our future and therefore deserve the investment in time, money and resources that will safeguard Gibraltar's future society. I care that our heritage has been willfully destroyed in the case of the Rocher tanks. This was our children's inheritance and nobody had a right to destroy them. I care about the elderly. A PDP government would be much more sympathetic towards the needs of our elderly as set out in our manifesto. I care that the Cordoba agreements were signed without consulting the people of Gibraltar. On the 11th of October, you will be asked your verdict as regards the Cordoba agreements, which were decided on your behalf without any consultation. The PDP maintain that the sovereignty of Gibraltar is a matter for the people of Gibraltar. The PDP will ensure that any arrangements within the airport do not undermine issues of jurisdiction and control. So we say yes to cooperation, yes to friendly relations, but not at any price. Finally, let me tell you that I firmly believe that there are many of you fellow Gibraltarians who feel the same about the many issues I have highlighted today. There are many Gibraltarians who care. Well, I say to you that every little counts, and if everyone who cares would stand up and be counted, then together we could make a fresh start and create a Gibraltar that we can all be proud of. Please share in our vision of Gibraltar, and on the 11th of October, vote for all 6 PDP candidates. If you have decided to vote for any other party, then you need only give them 9 votes for them to have a majority. You have a spare vote which we ask you to give to us, the PDP. Good evening and thank you for listening.
That was an electoral broadcast by the PDP.